Hi everyone. So very excited to be here, and we are representing Bling Digital. And basically, as we discussed, like we are going to talk about how to build a multi-crore brand on Meta, and this is all about the creative first performance strategy. So Rikki, I would first like to ask you what is happening in the world of digital marketing right now. Like what's new?
I think if you look at how the world is evolving, previously there was like long form television commercial. Now what has happened is with the advent of creators and content, attention has become the key economy that people are driving for, and then creating content on top. If you look at Minimalist, which just got sold for 3,000 crores, was purely built on Instagram using content. And I believe the next set of online and offline brands will come from either creators who know how to create content and reach out to the right audience, or people or brands who can crack content language on digital.
Yeah, and it's actually a trend that we are seeing with most of our clients right now, that even the brands which are D2C forward or the ones which have moved now into the digital space or they are purely operating offline, content has become a major, it plays a major role in driving metrics for them, be it performance or store visits or any metrics that the clients are looking for right now. So what's next? Like, what more in terms of content? Like, how do you see AI probably playing a role in this entire context?
I think, as I think a lot of people have seen with Chat GPT and all that stuff, and especially with Mark Zuckerberg saying that the only thing that a small business will have to do is bring the money, and the AI system will do everything for you. So in a sense, with AI, what has happened is creating content at scale has become much, much easier, right? You just get Chat GPT to create the script. So scripts also follow a template, which is like first 3 seconds is a hook, the next 10 seconds is a hold, and then finally the CTA. And then you feed that and they'll make hundreds of scripts, and then you give it to like a AI generator called Caption, which will create content at scale. And then what will happen is eventually the tool that you build will take all this content and test at scale and then figure out which one is the best performing content. So I believe the world will now move into creative
Back in
first,
the
where
1980s.
understanding what kind of content to create and like the strategy behind it, and then feed that strategy to an AI tool, and then they'll create content at scale.
I think it sounds very easy, right?
Yeah,
But
it is not that difficult, to be very honest. But yeah, but I think thinking becomes much more important now, because AI will do a lot of your execution.
exactly. And this is actually what we are talking to when it, like basically this is what we talk to when we talk to brands. And it's actually a game changer when it comes to driving performance for any business. But there is another aspect to the content part beyond AI, which is what we call, and the most trendy word, UGC. Right? So Rikki, what would you like to talk about in terms of UGC-based content?
I think so. Basically, we do around $200 million of ad spends on Meta as a platform. On $200 million of ad spends on Meta, and what we've seen globally is UGC becoming like it passes all the filters for the right content. It gives you the authenticity filter. It also gives you like the real testimonial. So we've seen like a UGC driving 2x more ROS than a normal commercial that you shoot, and I think that's where we see a lot of the content now moving. And also with UGC, we can create lot more content with lot more angles and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Like personally, I have seen some of the most well-established brands. I can take a name of brand like Milton, which has always relied upon the brand videos, and brand videos are actually the core of marketing for any of these established brands. But now they've slowly moved towards UGC content. So every brand film launched also has a layer of the UGC content, which is probably created by creators across levels. So you have micro-influencers, macro-influencers, and some of the biggest names and the smallest of the creators actually creating this content, layering over the brand film. And this actually creates a lot of impact for the brand across the metrics that they are focusing on. Yeah. Anything else that you would want to add?
I think so. I think the next set of brands will come from people who understand Instagram or globally TikTok. They understand what kinds of or like what kind of content travels. For example, like if you look at like US, right? Like Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner have built $1 billion brands just by the pure force of their followers and they knowing what works on digital. Uh, so in a sense, if you are a creator and if you understand the language of reels, the power that you have is immense and you can create content and then actually scale it and build a brand. So gone are the days where like retail footprint was so important, right? Like the previous session was all about kidhar dukaan kholna hai, how do we like figure that stuff. What has happened is with digital now distribution has gotten democratized and people are willing to try new stuff. So every week, every month, there are new brands propping up, and they are. What's happening is like, for example, Rare Rabbit started as an online brand, now getting into retail, right? So now slowly, what will happen is with the power of distribution or democratization of content, lot of smaller mom and pop stores or smaller brands or manufacturers can build brands online, and if they use like the right content strategy and like promote it well on platforms like Meta and all that stuff, you'll see a lot of these brands actually succeeding and doing really well. So even if you look at Unilevers or the Maricos, what are they doing? They're going and acquiring these brands because they themselves are not able to compete because of their archaic method, the older methods, and the newer brands because they are faster, agile, are creating content at scale. That's why they're able to scale to like a 300 crore, 200 crores easily, like in 6 months. Like what it used to take like years and years, now it takes like months for the brands to get built. So I believe that any creator, any manufacturer right now who understands the product or who understands content can easily build like 1,000 crore brand like in a month in a span of 6 to 8 months. That's what I believe the next set of future the next set of retail brands will come out of people who understand content better.
Yeah, and like it actually doesn't take a lot to launch your own brand also. Like this strategy works for brands at every stage of maturity, right? From, as Rikki said, a manufacturer who's trying to get into the D2C world, or an established brand with enough retail offline footprint who's trying to get into the D2C business. Or in fact, you even driving your footfalls to your stores. For every aspect, this creative first performance strategy works. And we have
Yeah.
seen it like
For,
reflecting for our
so
brands.
for example, I was in Surat that day, met like a sari manufacturer. In 7 days, we built the website using Shopify. The content was ready. Now, now on day 2, we are doing 2 lakhs every day worth of business. That's 60 lakhs. And if I multiply, that's 8 crores of business built in a span of 2 weeks, right? So that's the power of digital that you have, and that's the power of content.
Yeah, I agree completely. And what do you see? How does it basically move for brands that are around us right now? Like, how do you think this creative first strategy works for them?
I think they've come from a bag, like for example, like all the brands that I saw, they come from a background of building like a TVC and creating one content and going on TV and like spreading that marketing message. I believe that with them now what they have is the power of digital. So to test and learn is easier. So you basically create a product line easily and then test it and see if it's working or not working. Plus creating content on back of those tests, you can easily create that. So for a bigger brand, just because of their distribution channel, they can reach out to more people. But now with content and testing on digital, they can actually do much more. That's what I believe the game of like the brands will be there. But the only challenge for them is because they are like they have legacy, they are not able to move as fast as like a new age brand. So it's important to change their DNA and to understand what's working on digital.
Yeah, actually, in my experience also, this has been one of the biggest challenge is to move away from the old ways of creating content and doing marketing to the new ways of doing the same thing. For example, earlier if you had to make a brand film, you had to do the concept testing before. Right now, what you can do is you can figure out your core cohorts, analyze their pain points, create content, test it, and see what's working for you, which is the core that is working for you, which is the insight that is driving results for you. So this is the difference that we bring into the picture, and it's the impact. You can actually see the results for yourself and then scale accordingly. So that makes the entire difference, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So anything else that you would like to
No, I
add
think
to
that's
this?
it. If you guys have any question, happy to
Yeah.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you very much for a good response. You say you can set up a brand in a very short span of time. Which is the one of the most important key factor for a brand once it is set up to withstand for a long period? Which is the key subject what you consider for a product?
So basically, what you mean is durability of the brand. Once you set it up,
Yeah, to withstand the brand for long period, what is the key factor you consider?
I think one of the things that you need to consider is understanding the market, the consumer, and then creating content backwards. So for example, if you build a brand on X day, and there may be like X reasons of you selling that to the market, like you figure out 5 things that I will get consumers to buy it. So if you want the brands to last longer, what you need to do is be on the edge of what's trending on digital. So tomorrow, like a new format comes out or a new audio comes out, making content around that so that people find the brand more relevant.
Does a follow-up products range
Follow-up
of
products is basically, at least what I follow is test. So you keep building on, like, so for example, if you have search as a brand, we have this brand called Urban Scissor, which we've invested. Now the whole task for the brand, especially with AI coming in, is to create newer lines and then test it. Not like when you create a newer line, you don't have to create 500 of those. So you create 5, you create content around that will not cost you more than 10,000 rupees, and then see what's the ROS that it delivers on the platform. So if the ROS is good, that means there's a product market fit, and you scale that line. So you learn from that. So your test and learn now becomes creating a new line, testing it, and then adapting it to what's working, not working. And that's what you do. So, and especially with so much of competition, you have to be on top of trends. So it's not like पहले क्या होता था, आपने एक प्रोडक्ट बना लिया, वो सालों से, like निर्मा एक पाउडर सालों साल चला, right? अभी क्या होता है, because the attention is so little, people forget faster. So it's very important, for you to become on top of the trend, creating new lines every month, every week, and testing it, going to market, and then like actually seeing what's working, what's not working. So like become digital, right? Like if you're waking up watching content, every day you want to see a new creator, and if you see the same creator creating the same kind of content, you get bored. What I see is creator is also a brand. So think like a creator. So every day they think of new content, new ideas. So as a brand, you have to think of new content, new ideas, new product. So that's what at least the new philosophy of brand creation will be.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the information.
Any more questions?
We actually have a short video that we can play for you, which actually captures the entire essence of what we are talking about. And after that, you would love to discuss your business challenges. We have our booth right here, Blink Digital, and please welcome to visit us.
Thank you.
Back in the 1980s, it was all about big TV ads, strategic brand placements, and dominating shelf space. Brands were discovered on TV. Or at your local Kirana store. Simple times. Now it's all about reels. People scroll past 1 million things a day, and even the neighbour you can't stand is an influencer now. Forget reach.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Today, we plan for attention, and AI ensures flawless execution. Long ads? Who has the time for that? In a world where short and impactful wins, the trend of the decade is here. Book-based advertising.
Say goodbye to wrinkles and morning puffiness with Beauty Sleep's anti-wrinkle pillow.
कांदा नहीं है, आलू भी नहीं है, मिर्ची भी नहीं है, आटा भी नहीं है, खाना नहीं, छुट्टी.
I give up caffeine for Kapiva Shilajit Fizz.
Are you also a Taylor Swift fan? If yes, then you cannot miss on these sandals. Don't ever buy this amazing oyster casserole from Milton. Best burgers in town.
Grab attention, create FOMO, and drive sales. 2,000 plus D2C brands scaled, millions spent smartly, and ROS of 4 plus, 3 plus, 8 plus. In 2025, attention isn't just currency, it's everything.